This is Aaron with anetcomputers.com with another printer problem. Imagine that. This deals with an Epson 4500. How to fix Epson 4500 printer not connected error. All right. What you'll want to do is properly remove the printer, software and driver, and if you're patient, I will discuss exactly how to do that. But first, I'm going to go over some of the details about this. Now, this video is going to primarily discuss how to fix this problem on Apple Macintosh. Now, the basics you could use for Microsoft Windows, the more specifically, succinctly detailed instructions, no. I'll give you maybe some bonus tips towards the end and give you some clues, but no, I'm not going to go over all that. I'm just going to stick to the Macintosh. But now this problem, printer not connected, is classic, and it is not mutually exclusive to any operating system. This occurs with both Microsoft Windows operating system, oh yes, yes, yes it does, and it also occurs with Apple Macintosh operating system, yes, yes, yes it does. You know what I'm saying? Also, it is not mutually exclusive to the printer. This example is just with an Epson 4500, but no. Any inkjet printer could potentially have this problem. LaserJet, that's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole nother video. My experiences are LaserJet printers are usually more reliable. It depends on the model number, but whatever, the model. But let's digress away from that. Okay, so here is quoted verbatim their question or whatever. Their quagmire. All of a sudden, my Epson 4500 printer scanner says it is not connected to my Macintosh. They were using operating system Mojave 10.14.3. It has just happened on a frantic workday. What to do? Well, you better submit those TPS reports before your boss fires you. It is definitely connected. Okay, classic. The old Friday afternoon, and I was going to become derogatory, but you know, maybe I shouldn't. Well, it's free speech, but whatever. And your boss, those crooked, they demand that you turn in a report on a Friday afternoon, and they never told you before that, and now your printer does not work. What do you do to save your job? To keep yourself out of the unemployment line. Not to receive that pink slip. Thank dog I'm not religious, and thank dog I don't work in corporate environments anymore. Okay, now this is very common, and I already went over it. It occurs on both the major operating systems, Apple Macintosh and Microsoft Windows. They could not scan any longer. They could not use the automatic document feeder. And I already went over the fact that it's not brand inclusive. No. It is not mutually exclusive to the Epson. This can happen on any brand printer. You know what I'm saying? So when they tried to scan, they received that not connected error. Very classic. Now they tried to power off both their Apple Macintosh computer and then power off their Epson 4500 printer, as well as they claimed that they disconnected their printer from the Apple Macintosh computer. Okay, now I have some instructions that have a little bit more details that could potentially fix this problem. Number one, you want to power up your printer. Number two, you want to disconnect the power cable from both the wall outlet and the printer, or just the wall outlet. Most printers have corded cables. So occasionally I find printers that actually have a cable up with the power supply that's actually removable on both ends. Anyways, I digress. Now you're going to want to disconnect the universal serial bus printer cable from both your printer and your computer. And you may want to you don't have to, but sometimes I do recommend that you shut off your computer. That's probably, you could do that too. Okay, then you will want to press and hold the power button on your printer for up to 1 minute, 60 seconds. Then you're going to leave your printer disconnected from the power source for 5 to 10 minutes. Then you can reconnect the universal serial bus cable to your computer and printer. Then you're going to want to plug in the power cable into the wall outlet. Then you'll want to power on the printer and see if it will now print or scan, and see if it fixes that printer not connected error. If that does not fix your problem, a lot of times chances are it is the printer software and driver. It is. So what you'll want to do is properly, completely, correctly remove a printer from Apple operating system. A lot of people don't know this. This is what you'll want to do. You'll want to remove all instances of that specific printer model from applications, the software. So you browse to applications, remove all instances of the software for that specific printer. Sometimes it shows up duplicates. Yes, it does. Then you'll want to remove all instances of that specific printer model from printer and scanners. Then after you completed those two important steps, then you can go ahead and download the printer driver from Epson. I have a direct link at my website, anetcomputersplural.com. Uniform Resource Locator highlighted on screen. Type that into the address bar of your web browser. Bam, you can read the blog post. Bam, click on that hyperlink. Bam, it'll automatically download the software to your computer. But remember, this video was succinctly discussing Apple Macintosh operating system with the Epson ET4500. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Now, that is how you completely remove a printer from Apple operating system. You cannot, if you don't follow these two big steps, you may become a victim of an infinite loop. You'll sit there and try to reinstall the printer software 10 times, and no bueno. It's because you have to remove it from both applications and from printers and scanners. Microsoft Windows is similar, but not the exact same. I'm only going to go over the generalities, you know what I'm saying? In Microsoft Windows, you go to Programs and Features or Programs, and then remove all instances of the Epson software. And believe it or not, on Microsoft Windows, you also browse to printers and scanners, and you remove all instances of the exact same printer. If there are duplicates, you remove the duplicates. You know what I'm saying? There's a special step that most people do not know. It's called the Print UI tool. I'm not going to cover that, but I am going to describe there'll be a little bit of overtime, because I'm going to describe to you what, to me, is most likely the issue with printers on both Apple Macintosh and Microsoft Windows operating system. The driver becomes corrupt. I know Apple is rotten to the core, and Microsoft doesn't have the greatest track record. The word corrupt is apropos for both those corporations. You know what I'm saying? A corrupt corporation and a corrupt printer driver on that corrupt corporation's operating system. You know what I'm saying? Rotten to the core, man. Okay, that is the root cause analysis. I found out that if you do not, here's what happens, especially on Microsoft Windows. You go and you reinstall the printer software, and you try it 5 times, and it doesn't fix the problem. Well, that's because on Microsoft, the printer installation program, and I found out that it's not just one brand, it's a lot of brands. When it goes to reinstall the printer driver, it already detects that there's already a printer driver installed. So it either ignores it and skips that step, or it tries to overwrite like maybe the older driver or some generic driver from Microsoft. Yeah, and it doesn't work. Same thing possibly on Apple Macintosh. The driver a lot of times is the culprit. So you want to remove the driver. Otherwise, you're going to become a victim of an infinite loop. And so that's why on Windows, you would use a tool called Print UI, which I'm not going to go over the exact instructions. They're lengthier. That tool will properly, manually remove the driver, and then you would reboot the computer. on Microsoft Windows. You know what I'm saying? So there are steps that you have to take to completely, correctly, properly remove printer software and printer driver on both Apple Macintosh and Microsoft Windows. If you don't follow the instructions and you just try to reinstall the software on top of itself, you could try it 1,000 times and it's probably not going to fix your issue. You know what I'm saying? All right, I think that's enough. That is my video pertaining to how to fix the printer not connected error on Epson 4500. Again, remember, you can use these troubleshooting tips and steps on basically any brand printer and any operating system, if it's Apple Macintosh and Microsoft Windows. Did you know that I have partnered with Just Answer? So if you ever need online computer technical support, you can actually ask a computer technician now and solve your common computer problem. I've partnered with Just Answer. They have hundreds of computer technicians at your disposal. They are vetted and verified. They can communicate with you over chat, over telephone, over video, and they can even remotely connect into your computer and potentially fix your problem. So you can always browse to anetcomputers.com to fix your most common computer problems yourself, or if you want a third party, you can click on Get Tech Help. Also, you can find out what other platforms are available. Twitter, Facebook, Trova.live, Twitch.tv, YouTube, youtube.com/anetcomputers, plural with an S. I just hear a noise. Instagram.com, TikTok, and Rumble. Adios.